It was a bright Sunday morning. Tom, 73, was heading down his porch steps to grab the newspaper, something he'd done every morning for over a decade. But this time, as his foot hit the second step, it didn't respond. It didn't flex. It didn't grip. It just gave out. In an instant, Tom was on the ground, his newspaper scattered, his coffee spilled, his wife running out of the house in panic. He hadn't tripped. The steps weren't wet. There was no cane, no imbalance. Just a quiet failure in the way his foot communicated with his brain. The ER visit ruled out stroke diabetes or nerve disease. "You're getting older," they told him. "It happens." But Tom knew better. This wasn't weakness. It wasn't age. Something had changed in the way his feet responded, and it had come on gradually over the past 6 months. Strangely, it had started around the same time he began a new supplement routine. His daughter had given him a bottle labeled Brain and Bone Defense. It had a long list of vitamins B6, D3, E, all in high doses. He'd taken it every day without question. Because vitamins are always safe, right? What Tom didn't know was that certain vitamins in the wrong dose or combination can quietly damage your nerves, stiffen your joints, and affect the delicate tissues in your feet. And millions of seniors are unknowingly doing the same thing. Today, we're going to uncover the 3 most common vitamins that may be silently harming your feet and what you can do to protect yourself. How are your feet feeling these days? Before we go any further, let me ask you something simple. How are your feet feeling lately? Do they feel steady when you first get out of bed? Or do you feel a bit off, like something's not quite right under you? Do your toes sometimes feel numb? Do your heels ache at night? Do you ever walk across the room and wonder, why do my feet feel stiff? Like they're not listening to me. If any of that sounds familiar, you're not alone. As we get older, our feet don't always speak up loudly. They whisper. A little tightness, a little tingling, a little hesitation when we move. And sometimes those whispers are signs of something bigger, something we can fix if we listen in time. Here at Better Health, we're here to help you listen to your body, your feet, and the signals they've been sending. If you feel strong today, leave a comment that says, "Feet feel strong." If you've been struggling just right, need help with my feet. Either way, we see you, we hear you, and this channel is here for you. Feel free to like this video if it's speaking to you already, and subscribe to Better Health, so you never miss the insight that could protect your next step. Let's take a closer look at what might really be hiding inside those harmless vitamins. Not all vitamins are safe, especially as we age. We've all grown up believing one thing: vitamins are good, the more the better. But here's what most people, even many doctors, don't say out loud. Not all vitamins are harmless, especially when you're over 60, especially when they build up slowly in your system, and especially when your body isn't processing them the way it used to. Vitamins can be life-saving when used correctly. But taken in the wrong form at the wrong dose, or for too long, they can begin to do the opposite of what they promise. They can irritate your nerves, stiffen your joints, and quietly damage the parts of your body that work the hardest to carry you your feet. As we age, our liver slows down. Our kidneys work harder to filter out excess, and our nerves become more vulnerable to imbalance. Add on common medications like diuretics, blood pressure pills, or statins, and suddenly the safe daily supplement you're taking is no longer working in your favor. The result? Numbness in the toes, burning in the soles, tingling in the arch, stiffness in the heel, and that strange, disconnected feeling like your feet aren't part of your body anymore. The worst part, these symptoms creep in slowly. They don't shout. They whisper. And that's why they often go untreated, or worse, misunderstood. But once you know which vitamins are causing trouble, you can take back control. So let's look at the 3 most common culprits, the ones found in popular multivitamins, memory boosters, and bone formulas. That might be quietly harming your feet. 1. Vitamin B6, the numbness trigger. Patricia was 69 when the tingling started. It began in her toes, just a light buzzing like static under the skin. She ignored it at first, thought it might be the cold tiles or her shoes. But within a few weeks it got worse. The buzzing turned into numbness. The numbness turned into burning. And soon she couldn't feel the floor under her feet when she walked to the mailbox. She began lifting her feet higher than needed just to be sure they were landing. Her balance felt off. She tripped twice in 1 week, once in the kitchen, once on the sidewalk. Worried, she went to her doctor. No diabetes, no spinal issues. Her B12 was fine. So, what was going on? They looked at her supplements. Patricia had been taking a popular nerve support blend, a B complex recommended by a friend. It had 100 milligrams of vitamin B6 per capsule. She'd been taking it daily for 6 months. And that was the problem. B6, a friend that can turn against you. Vitamin B6, also called pyridoxine, plays an important role in how your nerves send messages. You need B6 to help your brain talk to your muscles. It supports enzyme function, hormone balance, and immune response. In low to moderate doses, it's extremely helpful, especially for seniors with inflammation or immune issues. But there's a hidden danger. Too much B6 can cause nerve damage. Not permanently in most cases, but enough to mimic the symptoms of diseases like neuropathy or multiple sclerosis. And it happens slowly, often without any warning signs at first. How it hurts. The feet. When B6 levels get too high, the vitamin begins to irritate the peripheral nerves, the tiny wires that connect your brain and spinal cord to your feet and hands. Those nerves are especially sensitive. They're the first to show symptoms when something goes wrong. The damage begins with numbness in the toes, burning sensation in the soles, feeling like you're wearing socks when you're barefoot, loss of vibration sense, you can't feel the ground beneath you, poor balance, especially when standing still or walking in the dark. Eventually, the muscles in your feet may weaken. You lift them too high when walking, something called a steppage gait. You might feel like your foot is slapping the floor, or like you're walking on padding even when you're not. These aren't signs of aging. They're signs of irritated nerves. Why seniors are more vulnerable. As we age, our kidneys and liver process nutrients more slowly. That means vitamins like B6 stay in our systems longer than they used to. Even moderate doses can build up over time, especially when taken daily for months. And here's the surprising part. This nerve irritation isn't caused by megadoses of 1,000 milligrams or more. It can happen at doses as low as 100 to 200 milligrams a day when taken consistently for 3 to 6 months, which is exactly what's in many over-the-counter nerve health or energy supplements. You may not even realize how much you're getting because B6 is found in multivitamins, B-complex blends, energy drinks, fortified cereals, meal replacement shakes, some immune support formulas. If you're combining multiple products, you could easily exceed safe limits without meaning to. What's a safe dose? For most older adults, the safe upper limit for vitamin B6 is 100 milligrams per day, but even that can be too much for some, depending on how long it's taken. The ideal maintenance dose between 1.7 and 10 milligrams per day from all sources, including food and supplements. This is why high-dose B6 should only be used under medical supervision and for short periods of time, not as a permanent part of your routine. Foods rich in natural B6. The good news is you can get all the B6 you need from food without the risk of overload. Some excellent sources include cooked salmon, chicken breast, bananas, spinach, sweet potatoes, sunflower seeds, fortified whole grain cereal in small portions. Food-based B6 is much safer because it's absorbed gradually and doesn't flood your system all at once. Even if you eat several servings, your body handles it far better than synthetic forms in pills. How to know if B6 is the problem? If you've been experiencing any of the following, it might be worth checking your supplement labels. Foot tingling, especially at night. Burning in the toes or soles. trouble feeling texture under your feet, balance issues with no clear cause, weakness in the ankles or toes, a disconnected feeling in the lower legs. Have your doctor check your serum B6 levels and also review your full list of vitamins. If high B6 is found, early symptoms are usually reversible within weeks to months of stopping supplements. What Patricia did, after stopping her supplement, Patricia worked with her doctor to adjust her routine. They replaced her high-dose B complex with a low-dose multivitamin that included only 5 mg of B6. She added more fish, spinach, and sunflower seeds to her meals. And most importantly, she listened to her body. It took about 6 weeks, but the burning sensation faded. Her balance improved. She could feel her toes again. She wasn't just walking, she was walking confidently. A word of caution. If your doctor prescribed B6 for a specific reason, like carpal tunnel morning sickness or medication side effects, don't stop suddenly without guidance. But if you're taking B6 on your own, especially in doses over 50 mg/day day, consider reducing or eliminating it, and watch how your body responds. Your feet are always sending you signals. Don't ignore the quiet ones. Final thought on B6. Vitamin B6 is not your enemy. But like many things in life, too much of a good thing becomes harmful. When it comes to your nerves and the precious connection between your brain and your feet, balance is everything. So check your labels, check your feet, and ask yourself, are you walking on strength or on symptoms you've been told to ignore? Because sometimes the smallest vitamin is the one making the biggest noise beneath your feet. 2. Vitamin E, the silent bleeder. Henry had always believed in supplements. He took a daily multivitamin fish oil and a few extras he picked up from the local health food store. But one day while changing his socks, he noticed a deep purple bruise on the top of his foot. He didn't remember bumping into anything, didn't trip, didn't drop anything heavy. He figured maybe it was from walking too much on a hard surface. A few days later, another bruise showed up, this time near his ankle. Then one morning he noticed something even stranger, a small pool of blood under the toenail of his left big toe. No trauma, no pain, just bleeding under the skin. His doctor ran some labs. Platelet count normal. Liver fine, but his blood was taking longer to clot. That's when the doctor asked, "Are you taking vitamin E?" Henry nodded. Every day. 800 IU. Liquid capsules. They're supposed to help with aging, right? That's when the truth came out. Vitamin E, especially in high doses, can thin your blood sometimes too much. And in seniors, that can quietly lead to bruising, bleeding, and tiny injuries, especially in your feet. What is vitamin E? Vitamin E is a fat-soluble antioxidant. It protects your cells from damage, supports immune function, and may help with skin health. It's found naturally in nuts and seeds, plant oils, spinach and broccoli, avocados. In the right amounts, it's essential. But in high doses, especially from synthetic supplements, it can have side effects. One of the most overlooked, its impact on your blood. How vitamin E affects the feet. Your feet contain a dense network of tiny blood vessels, capillaries that are close to the skin and easily affected by pressure or trauma. When vitamin E levels are too high, it can reduce platelet aggregation, which means your blood doesn't clot as quickly as it should. That might sound like a good thing, less risk of stroke perhaps, but for older adults, it can also mean unexplained bruises on the tops or sides of the feet, bleeding under the toenails or around the heel, slow healing from small cuts or blisters, soreness in the balls of the feet after minor pressure, discoloration that looks like trauma but came from within. Since feet are often enclosed in shoes under pressure and far from your heart, any compromise in circulation or clotting becomes noticeable there first. The danger of high doses. Vitamin E supplements are often sold in doses of $400 to $1,000 IU per capsule, far higher than what your body actually needs. The recommended daily intake for older adults is 15 ml, about 22 IU. Anything over 400 IU per day has been associated with increased risk of bleeding, especially in the brain or digestive tract, easy bruising, muscle fatigue or weakness, potential interactions with blood thinners, and yet many anti-aging or heart-healthy supplements contain 800 IU or more, often without warning. Worse still, liquid capsules deliver vitamin E faster and in higher concentrations than the body expects. If you're also taking aspirin, warfarin, or other anticoagulants, the risk becomes even greater. But isn't vitamin E good for you? Yes, in moderation. Vitamin E helps fight oxidative stress, supports eye health, and may even protect against cognitive decline. But more isn't better, especially when it comes to how your body manages bleeding and repair. Your feet are already vulnerable. Thin skin, frequent pressure, distant circulation, hidden injuries, especially if sensation is reduced. Adding a supplement that slows clotting without a medical reason can quietly turn minor pressure into visible bruising and slow your ability to recover. Signs: you may be getting too much vitamin E. Pay attention to your feet, legs, and lower arms for bruises that appear without impact, blood spots under the skin, bleeding around the cuticles or nail beds, heel soreness that feels deep rather than muscular, longer bleeding time after cuts or scrapes. Other general signs include headaches, muscle weakness, fatigue or dizziness after taking supplements. If you notice these symptoms, especially in combination, it may be time to review your vitamin E intake. Safer ways to support your body. Instead of relying on high-dose vitamin E pills, try incorporating more food-based sources. Almonds, just a handful, offers around 7 mg of vitamin E. Sunflower seeds, rich in both E and magnesium. Spinach, a double benefit for blood flow and nerve support. Avocados, healthy fats plus E. Olive oil, great for cooking and dressing salads. Food-based vitamin E is easier for your body to regulate. You get the benefits without the overdose. And unlike supplements, these foods offer fiber, minerals, and other antioxidants that work in harmony. What Henry did after speaking with his doctor, Henry stopped taking the 800 IU capsules. They replaced it with a moderate multivitamin that contained just 30 IU of natural vitamin E. He started adding a small bowl of almonds to his afternoon snack and used extra virgin olive oil in his evening meals. Within a few weeks, the bruising stopped, his toenail cleared up, and the soreness in his heel disappeared. He didn't feel weaker. He felt more balanced, like his body was finally working with him again, not against him. A final thought on vitamin E. Vitamin E is not the villain. But too much, especially in concentrated synthetic form, can quietly sabotage your strength, your circulation, and your comfort. Your feet in particular feel the brunt of that imbalance, because they are far from your heart, because they bear your weight, and because you rely on them every day, often without thinking. So if you've been taking vitamin E for years thinking it was protecting you, it might be time to ask, is this still helping or quietly hurting? Your next step could depend on the answer. 3. Vitamin D, the stiffness builder. Linda, 76, always took her health seriously. She walked every morning, ate home-cooked meals, and never missed a checkup. When her doctor told her she had low bone density, she took action. He recommended vitamin D, and she listened. She started taking 5,000 IU every day. Rain or shine, winter or summer, no breaks. For a while, she felt fine, but slowly, something changed. She began waking up with stiff feet. The kind of stiffness that made those first few steps feel like she was walking on bricks. Her heels ached. Her arches felt tight, like rubber bands pulled too far. She assumed it was age. But one morning, she bent over to tie her shoes and couldn't reach her toes without pain. She hadn't fallen. She hadn't injured herself. She'd just gotten stiff. What Linda didn't know was this. Too much vitamin D, especially over time, can cause calcium to settle in the wrong places. And for some seniors, that includes the very tissues that make their feet move. The power and risk of vitamin D. Vitamin D is essential for life. It helps your body absorb calcium, supports immune function, and protects bones. But there's a catch. Vitamin D tells your body to absorb calcium, but not where to send it. If your calcium levels are already high, or if you're taking D without the proper balance, that extra calcium can deposit in soft tissues instead of bones. It can settle in tendons, ligaments, arterial walls, muscle fibers, even the fascia under your feet. This process is called soft tissue calcification, and it often starts quietly. You don't see it. You just feel it as stiffness, tightness, or soreness that doesn't quite go away. Why feet are especially affected? Your feet contain dozens of small muscles, hundreds of ligaments, a thick band of connective tissue called the plantar fascia. All of these structures stretch and contract with every step. But when they start to stiffen due to microscopic calcium deposits, they lose their flexibility. The result? Stiff feet in the morning, painful arches after standing, heel discomfort when walking barefoot, trouble squatting, reaching, or climbing stairs, a sensation that your feet are locked when you try to move quickly. It feels like aging, but it's not just that. It's a mineral imbalance driven by long-term oversupplementation. How much vitamin D is too much? The recommended daily intake for older adults is 600–800 IU per day. Doctors may prescribe more short-term if your levels are low. But many people take 2,000–5,000 IU on their own, sometimes for years, without rechecking blood levels. That's when trouble starts. Studies have shown that doses above 4,000 IU day for extended periods may increase the risk of soft tissue calcification, kidney stones, joint pain, fatigue, confusion, and yes, muscle stiffness. It's not always about toxicity. Sometimes it's about imbalance. The missing piece. Vitamin K2 helps direct calcium into the bones and keep it out of soft tissues. Without K2, vitamin D can act like a loaded truck with no GPS, bringing calcium into the body, but dumping it in the wrong places. K2 is found in fermented foods like natto cheese, sauerkraut, egg yolks, liver, some meats, and full-fat dairy. Unfortunately, many seniors don't eat enough of these foods, and most vitamin D supplements don't contain K2, especially the high-dose ones. That's why doctors now recommend pairing vitamin D with K2 in many cases, especially when taking doses over $2,000 IU day. Real symptoms, real risk. If you've been taking high-dose vitamin D and are noticing morning stiffness in the feet, tightness in calves or Achilles tendons, pain when stepping out of bed, a feeling of reduced spring in your step, new joint soreness that doesn't match activity level. It might not be arthritis. It might be how your body is managing minerals. Ask your doctor to check 25 OHD levels, serum calcium, parathyroid hormone, PTH, and possibly imaging if symptoms persist. Early signs are often reversible, but only if caught soon enough. What Linda did. After reviewing her symptoms and supplement history, Linda's doctor made some adjustments. She paused the 5,000 IU vitamin D for 2 weeks, then restarted at 1,000 IU with K2 added. She also increased her dietary intake of D and K2 through fortified milk, boiled eggs, sautéed kale, hard cheese, and light morning sun. Within a month, the stiffness in her arches softened. By week 6, she was waking up without fear of that first step. It wasn't magic, it was balance. A better way to supplement. If you've been taking vitamin D for bone health or mood support, that's a smart move. But here's how to do it safely. Know your level. Get your 25 OHD tested at least once a year. Aim for the middle range. Most experts recommend 30 to 50 ng/ml as the ideal zone for older adults. Pair with K2, look for D3 plus K2 supplements, or eat more K2-rich foods. Avoid megadoses long-term. Unless prescribed, don't exceed $2,000 IU day without medical guidance. Pay attention to your feet. Morning stiffness joint, tightness, or declining flexibility may be early warning signs. The message beneath your feet. We're often told that aging comes with stiffness, that tight joints, sore arches, and slow mornings are normal. But what if it's not your age? What if it's a supplement you trusted, taken just a little too long or in the wrong way? Your feet speak to you every day, with every ache, every pause, every step that doesn't land quite right. The question is, are you listening? Vitamin D is powerful, but like all powerful tools, it must be used with care. Because the last thing you want is to be fighting against the very thing that was meant to support you. Sometimes it's not your age. It's what you've been told is helping. Let's take a breath. You've just learned that 3 common vitamins, vitamin B6, vitamin E, and vitamin D, can quietly cause harm when used the wrong way. They're in your cabinet. They're on your kitchen counter. They might be in the supplements you take without even thinking. And yet these well-meaning pills might be the reason your feet feel numb, might explain the bruises you don't remember getting, might be behind the stiffness that greets you every morning before you even take a step. It's a hard truth, because we're told vitamins are safe. We're told they can only help. But now you know better. You've seen how B6, when taken too long or too much, can damage the very nerves that tell your feet how to move. You've seen how vitamin E in high doses can make blood so thin that even a gentle bump leaves you bruised and sore. And you've seen how vitamin D without balance can harden the soft tissues in your feet, making them stiff, slow, and less responsive. These aren't rare side effects. They're underreported. They're misunderstood. And they're happening to seniors every day just like you. But here's the most important part. You're not powerless. You don't need to throw everything out. You don't need to fear vitamins altogether. You just need to start doing what you've done your whole life, learn, adjust, and move forward with more wisdom than before. Ask yourself, do I know exactly what's in each pill I take? Am I combining multiple supplements without realizing it? When was the last time I had my nutrient levels checked, especially B6 and D? Have I been ignoring warning signs from my feet, thinking they were just normal aging? The answers may surprise you, but they can also empower you, because strong feet don't just carry your body. They carry your independence, they carry your confidence, and they carry your freedom to live on your own terms. This is your turning point. From here, you can choose to take back control, not with fear, but with clarity. You now understand your body better. You understand how to read the small signs. You know what questions to ask and what to listen for. So take a quiet moment. Look down at your feet, the ones that have carried you for decades, and whisper something they haven't heard in a while. I've got you now. Because from this day forward, you're not just walking. You're walking informed. Your feet have carried you this far. Now it's your turn to care for them. Before we say goodbye, I want to leave you with a simple thought. Your feet are quiet. They don't complain loudly. They don't ask for much. But they've been there step after step through every chapter of your life. They carried you to school when you were young, held you steady when you danced at your wedding, walked you down hospital hallways, through grocery aisles, across backyards and beaches. They've supported you through joy, through grief, through all the ordinary days in between. And now as you grow older, they're still trying to do their job. Even when they're numb, even when they're sore, even when they're stiff in the morning and heavy at night. They're still trying to carry you. So maybe now it's time to carry them. Not by doing more, not by pushing harder, but by listening more carefully, by asking better questions, by giving your body not just more vitamins, but the right ones in the right amount at the right time. If this video opened your eyes, even just a little, let us know. Leave a comment and share your story. Are your feet sending you signals? Have you been taking any of these vitamins long-term? Have you felt changes you couldn't explain until now? Your words might help someone else feel less alone. and your voice matters here. Like this video if it helped you feel informed, seen, or supported. Subscribe to Better Health so you never miss an update that could protect your independence one small step at a time. And in our next video, we'll talk about the 5 best vitamins for strong, pain-free feet and how to rebuild what may have been lost. Until then, take care of your feet, because they've taken care of you far longer than anyone ever gave them credit for.